Warning, the following broadcast contains strong opinions, playful antics, and controversial topics causing off-the-rails fun. Chances for being offended are higher than average for sensitive people. Viewer discretion is not advised. Live a little and have some fun.
And we welcome you to another edition, actually number 201. 201 of the Coach's Box. And glad to see everybody here as we call it like we see it. I'm Jim Powers. Jason Jarvis here. We don't know where the rest of the crew is.
I'll tell you what, man. It's hard to expect some of these people to ever show up. Last week you got it, so now it's your turn to give it to who's not here today.
No, I'm not. By the way, I just want to say I'm glad I did my part in getting Kevin out of double secret probation with Langhauser for the 14 shots that you all threw at me last week.
Man, I couldn't believe I only had 7 and he had 8 or something like that. So.
It was something like that. There was a scoreboard.
He beat me by 1. I mean, I was really trying to drill it in the ground about you not being there because I know I've missed a lot lately. And, the us teachers that don't work in the summer, we just get to go on rich vacations. It's all that money we make.
Right. Oh, speaking of which, good evening, Mr. There's Mr. IT himself.
New computer doesn't have a headphone jack in it, so I had to borrow somebody else's computer, and it didn't agree with me very well. But I rebooted it, and it's now working just fine.
Oh, so you shut it down, restarted, like you always tell everyone else, right?
I'm pretty sure, like your IT person probably tells you as well when things aren't going well.
I'm not throwing Dunklin R5 IT people under the bus, man. They've always taken care of me. My computers have always worked. And when they haven't, they've been quick to fix them. So kudos to those IT people. I still think it's funny, though. Every one of them says, did you unplug it? Did you restart it? Yeah. I'll tell you, you said a word that rang a bell with me there. You said Jack. And that made me think of Steve Kerr. And I'm just gonna go right into this crap about.
Well, real quick.
You're gonna get me aggravated. I'm fired up. I want to go.
No, real quick. I just want to say, Kevin, thank you for doing your part last week in getting yourself off of double secret probation.
We did already. Thank you for. You beat me though. I'm still surprised. I think Langhauser can't count.
Well, that could very well be true.
Because I thought I blew Kevin out of the water with the gym references.
I don't think it matters who won. I think we're all winners here. I think we all should get ice cream for this.
Okay, this is coach's speak I'm hearing. You sound like Miller.
But he's getting ready for his speech on Monday.
Yeah, but in the end, the only thing that matters is that we were on the same team and Jim was the target. That's what it was. So,
he did. I mean, the target was big as my screen, if not bigger last week on Jim. Yes.
It was a target-rich environment. I'll just say that.
It was as big as the hole in his basement ceiling.
So man.
Oh, shoot.
Right. You IT guys are a lot alike, huh?
All right, I'm going to turn Jarvis loose on the Olympics because we're going to.
How is Jason Tatum not playing again?
Second game. He didn't play in the first
what
game.
In the world? What? I don't understand.
Know how,
everyone's bitching about, bitching, I'm going to say it, about Steve Kerr and the way he's handling this.
But why?
Not just with him, with the whole team.
But with the NBA, why are you taking players that you're not even going to get into the game at some point? At least with the Dream Team, you knew Christian Laettner was just a token college guy and he was never getting in. Take a couple of token college guys if you're going to do that, just to take them over there. But you don't take one of the best players in the NBA over there just to have him sit and not be part of it. It made no sense to me.
It's crazy to me. 2 games now? 2 games.
Yeah, he did.
And in a game that, hell, they were down 17 at one point. You're telling me Tatum brings nothing to the table?
Apparently not.
Kerr is trying to justify it, saying they do it with matchups and this, that. It's just like the dude just led the Boston Celtics to the NBA championship. The dude is the 6th leading scorer in the NBA this year. And you're not playing him?
Don't give me that. Don't give me that matchup crap, because he's a matchup nightmare in the NBA.
Well,
What makes him not a matchup nightmare in the Olympics?
Kevin, don't you think him and KD on the court at the same time would be an absolute nightmare? I mean,
if you go
almost 7-footers that can handle the ball, shoot,
and defend on the perimeter, and then you add Curry into it. I don't know.
I mean, Curry put that team on his back today. He scored 39.
How many?
39.
I'm glad he did, because he started out, he was rough in the beginning.
He went nuts in the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah, I think he had 20 in the first half, and then he just went crazy in the run to get them.
Kobe Bryant Black Mamba on their ass.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I don't understand it. I don't see. You cannot give me a scenario that Tatum shouldn't get to play. I don't get it.
I agree. I 100% agree. And what was the reason why on the women's side that they didn't take Caitlin Clark? Because they basically came flat out and said she probably would not play. So why are we going to bring her onto a team where she's going to sit the bench? And that's the same thing that USA basketball should have done with the men. If you're not going to let Tatum have the summer off, then let him have the summer off.
And maybe this is their kind of hidden backdoor way of giving him the summer off without saying it out loud. He might be pretty darn tired and just said he might be okay with the fact and just be like, I want to go to the Olympics. I want to be part of it, but I am dog tired.
He's not okay with it. Trust me.
I know he's not. I'm just saying it could be.
Anybody with anyone in the NBA at his level, caliber of player, getting to play for the United States on his chest. I mean, I think some of these guys take this more seriously than they do when they play in the NBA. And I just think it's disheartening that one of the best, like Halberton not playing a whole lot, and some of those.
Halberton didn't play at all today either. Tatum and Halberton did not play a minute today.
That was the same in the
first game.
The first game, yeah.
Neither one of those two. So they're 11 and 12. You don't mean to tell me that those two, you can't play a 12-man rotation with this team and be just fine?
Because Kerr doesn't know how to coach a 12-man rotation. That's part of the problem right there. Because remember, his teams at Golden.
I'm not sure anybody knows how to coach a 12-man rotation.
Right, but remember, his teams at Golden State, they only go 2-3 deep in the bench. It's an 8-man rotation, basically.
Well, most teams are.
Yeah.
Most teams only go 8-9 deep at the most.
But in this situation, it's a little different. Well, I tell you what, man, whatever Victor Scott figured out down there in the freaking minors, man, is pretty nice.
He's hit the ball.
It's the leg kick.
Boy, him and freaking Wynn is just freaking good. I mean, I know I've been bashing the Cardinals a lot, but anyway, back to the Olympics. I'll tell you what, they sat there and jacked around and almost lost that game today. And, they need to go out and dominate. Let's finish this thing. I want to see a dominant performance.
If they would have lost today, Steve Kerr probably would have been fired and not coached the bronze medal game. Would have coached on Saturday. They would have probably fired him immediately.
I'm not sure. Okay, so what's the profile of a coach for a team, like a dream team? What is the profile of that person and who would be a good fit? Because if Steve Kerr's not a good fit, I'm trying to figure out what kind of coach would be a good fit for this type of team.
Well, Krzyzewski evidently was great at it.
Yeah, and I mean, let's talk about the dream team.
Well, I think that a player led. That was Magic Johnson, Jordan kind of doing what they need to for that team.
And
Larry Bird. I mean, Larry Bird was basically a coach. He was done at that time.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, his back was shot.
I mean,
yeah.
You know who would probably be a good coach in that situation? Hurley.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at what he's done with UConn, and he's had the last two championship teams. They've gone 9-10 deep. And
that would be a good look, having him doing these professionals after he decided to stay in college. I don't know.
Well,
it worked for Krzyzewski.
Yeah,
he's a little. They're not in the same breath yet.
No, probably not. But
I agree. So, all right. So with the Olympics, exactly. So with the Olympics are over in 3 days. They finish up on Sunday. I thought it'd be kind of cool, and I heard this conversation when I was driving back from Ohio on ESPN radio on Sunday afternoon, and they were talking about the Mount Rushmore of American athletes that have competed in the Olympics. And obviously, I think there's three that we would all agree with.
I mean, Phelps has to be one of them, right?
Simone Biles, Katie Ledecky, and Michael Phelps.
If you're going to go that route, I'm also thinking traditionally Jim Thorpe might be in there as well. Carl Lewis.
Carl Lewis
was one. What about Joyner?
Jackie Joyner Kersey. There's
JJK.
I think that there are a lot, and I think that if you kind of go on some tradition, I think that Thorpe and Carl Lewis, Jackie Joyner Kersey, and Michael Phelps would be my four that would go on Mount Rushmore.
Michael Phelps is a unanimous no-brainer. He's on there.
Oh, absolutely. I say that only because Mount Rushmore itself is the builders.
I didn't even bring it up. I was gonna bring it up earlier. Did Zach say he wasn't gonna be on? But I was letting it go. He's kind of he gets kind of sensitive when you make fun of him, so I let it go.
Oh, right. Okay. Hey, you don't read the group chat. It's okay.
I must have missed it. I didn't see you saying. Maybe you said you were gonna be late. And I just overlooked.
He did. He very much said he would be late.
Did.
So
Jim Powers saw Jim Thorpe play. He probably did, but that wasn't his favorite. His favorite is now a woman, and we all know who that is, Jenner.
Oh God! No.
That is Jim Powers' favorite. He is on Jim Powers' Mount Rushmore as a female. Caitlyn Jenner.
Now, are we including back to the conversation? Not Chris, who's not here.
Yeah, right. Not here,
for good reason. For good reason.
But I can still say he's not here.
Yeah.
True story.
Are we including both Summer and Winter Olympics?
Yeah. You can throw the Winter Olympics in there.
Should Mike Eruzione be on that list? Just for that one moment? Or Herb Brooks even?
I would say Herb Brooks, with what he did and how he changed the concept of USA Hockey at that point. And for the people that did not watch Miracle, it was, he changed the whole format. He basically had his team picked. And at that time, they used to bring 150 dudes to Colorado Springs, let them work out for 5-6 days, and then pick the team. Brooks had his team picked. And after the first practice, he basically said, I got my team, blah, blah, blah. And, the committee didn't like that. But guess what? They won a gold medal. It worked.
Yeah. Well, you guys are going to I think Katie Ledecky's got to be in this conversation.
I said Katie Ledecky.
Yeah.
Did you? 9 golds, 14 total. 14 total, and maybe she got. I don't know if that's counting this year too, but just because I did a little research, believe it or not, and it's hard to keep her.
Wait a
up.
second. Hold on. Do you even know how to spell research?
Oh, yes, I do. I know how to spell Ledecky. And
okay,
another word that's close to decky is what you're being. I mean, you got Mark Spitz.
Ooh.
Did you guys bring up Sean White? You're talking about summer and winter. I mean, Sean White's up there.
Yeah, he's done both.
I would say that we probably, if we have a Mount Rushmore, we keep summer and winter separate. I think we can staff both of them.
Oh, well,
so I would just do just Summer Olympics.
Summer.
You're kind of in trouble because Mount Rushmore is 4. So, I mean, that's going to be hard to narrow down to 4 people.
Right.
But Ledecky, man, has a big.
Did you put Usain Bolt on there?
Americans.
We're talking Americans.
So, I mean, you got Jesse Owens as well. So, like I said, I'm a Phelps, Thorpe, Jackie Joyner Kersey, Carl Lewis type, just because I think that they were the trendsetters of their era.
Yeah, I mean, Carl Lewis had 9 gold medals, 10 of them total, but 9 of them were gold out of his 10. I mean,
well, the other name that you got to throw in there too would be Greg Louganis. Mark Spitz. I'm sorry, Mark Spitz.
I said Mark.
Yes, Mark. Yes.
Did you say Spitz? Okay.
Yeah, I said his name wrong.
Simone Biles.
Jenny Thompson. Thompson.
Biles, absolutely.
Jenny Thompson's another one. She was, I think, a swimmer too. She has 8 golds. I'm just going down the gold list that I pulled up. Yeah. Matt Biondi or
he loses something for. Was he the one that pulled that crap in Brazil?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. It was
Biondi's a diver, right? Yes.
Yes.
He won medals in swimming, including 5 golds.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 golds in 1988, and came.
Okay.
The 50-meter freestyle, the 100-meter freestyle, and then all 3 medleys.
There was another swimmer that did something stupid down in
at the gas station or something.
Yeah, that guy.
Zach teaches geography and picks Bolt.
Hey, Chris, I didn't get on here until after they even talked about whatever they're talking about. So
that means Chris was on here before you.
He was, yep.
He was.
But he's not really on here. So
right.
Zach wins.
Right.
1, Zach 1, Chris 0.
So Summer Olympics, and I will put this in the 3-ring circus group text with Noland and Langhauser and Doug Kramer. What's your favorite sport? And I don't want a traditional sport, but what's a sport that you would watch that's not a traditional sport in the Summer Olympics? If anybody says breakdancing, I'm taking you off this right now.
I will say I have enjoyed watching the shot put guys this year. That's been fun to watch them big old dudes, man, throw them things. I've really enjoyed watching that. Gosh, you're saying
non-traditional.
I mean, one that's not talked about as much, the shot put discus type of thing would be one. You see some of those women, they're not very big, and the way they could throw them things is crazy.
The discus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The javelin,
it's all about speed and stuff, but I've enjoyed the field events of the Summer Olympics.
I watched a little bit of water polo and some field hockey today, and that was that's enjoyable to watch just because there's like a foul on every play, and all they do is just hesitate for a minute and then just keep going.
Well,
and then nobody argues if there's a foul called in field hockey. They just go, and then they swim off to the penalty box for a minute.
Right.
It's like learning all this stuff. Field hockey. I don't think anybody knows what the rules are in field hockey.
No idea. No clue.
It's hilarious because I listened to Mark Probst a couple of years ago. Was like, nobody knows the rules in field hockey. So if you want to officiate field hockey, you blow your whistle. You blow your whistle every 5 minutes. You point at the ball and you point in a direction. Nobody argues. They just do it.
Wait, who said that?
Mark Probst.
Mark Probst.
Oh, okay.
When we were short officials.
I'm not going to rip on Mark Probst. So
yeah, he was just like, he goes, we need to get more officials in field hockey. He goes, you just point in directions. I don't even know the rules. So.
Water polo is dangerous for the horses.
We're here. We're just going to ignore it.
Chris, just hop on the show, man.
Chris is even less funny in text messages than he is in person.
Zach, what sport have you enjoyed that's a non-traditional sport?
Well, I'm going to say not so much this year because we've been watching the track, we've been watching the swimming and the gymnastics and all that. But what I have enjoyed over the years. Besides the shooting, which we talked about last week a little bit, I also like fencing. You know, I mean, kind of being
the shooting. I didn't know where he was going with that. I didn't know there was a shooting while this year.
That's illegal. They test for that shooting up stuff.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
But what about
the Jamaicans because they haven't been doing well.
The field hockey guy.
No, what about the shooter from like Hungary or something or Hungary
Turkey
that literally was shooting with with his hand in his pocket?
What?
Uh-huh.
He's a Turkish assassin that they just sent to the Olympics. Yeah. He's in flip flops, his hand in his pocket. Yeah.
Did you hear the story?
No,
the story on him is hilarious. So. Well, it's not.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, he I guess he was divorced, and the wife took the dog, and he wanted something to occupy his mind, so he started shooting and got really good at it. And so the whole point is he just wanted some family time, see his kids, but then also he wanted his dog back. And so he's like, hey, if I do really well at this, maybe something will happen. So, but yeah, what a cool story for the guy. I mean, no technologies up there. And you're right, Kevin. I think it's just an assassin that's it's like, I'll show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just jeans and flip flops, put his hand in his pocket and just started firing away, hitting bullseyes left and right.
Yeah.
Just surprised he doesn't have a burner, just
smoking a dart. He's got a dart. It's a beer on a table right next to him.
It's like a scene from the cutting floor of Old School with Will Ferrell.
What a great movie there.
Yes. I've got two. The kayaking and canoe where they do the man-made river and that is wild. I mean, that is insane.
Is that the one where they got to hit the poles that are like dangling?
They've got to kind of either go through them or
that?
go around.
And they got to flip.
Wild. Yeah, they flip. I'm like, holy crap!
Yeah,
I drowned.
So
good,
right?
That'd be it.
And then the other one is cycling, but not the outdoor cycling. The indoor cycling that's in the what they call the velodrome.
Well, I missed
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed watching the outdoor cycling early in the Olympics. Yeah. The time trials where everybody goes off every 2 minutes. So just watching them spill and get right back up and keep going.
Well, so what about the USA woman that fell and ended up getting a silver medal?
Yeah.
I mean, that was ridiculous.
So one guy had an entirely huge lead that apparently his tire popped halfway through the race. He had a big enough lead that he gets off and he's yelling at the car behind him, his mechanic, to bring him the second bike. So guy has to get out of the car, pull the bike off the top, put it down and walk it forward to him. The guy goes, just bit it on the way to the bike, and he just basically slid the bike to him to get back on it. So,
I will say this though, with the advent of the Peacock Network, I think NBC's done a really, really good job in their coverage of the Olympics this year.
Yep. And
I've actually enjoyed. Yeah, most of the stuff I've seen has really been covered well, commentated pretty well. It's been pretty good.
The YouTube does a multi-channel thing where you can put all four of them up at once and watch them all, and that's been kind of pretty cool to watch as well.
You know who the national treasure is though right now?
If you say Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg and Flavor Flav.
Well, have you seen the Olympic Studio show with Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
It is priceless.
Listen, how bad are we as Americans that we got the biggest pothead rapper?
Talk about doping, right?
I know, the biggest pothead rapper. I mean, he's stoned out of his mind. And he's just chilling and like all these old people were talking about how it's so cool to have him on there. I'm thinking, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Same people that told all of us that we couldn't have their records because they had E on it. And now they're like, oh man, Snoop Dogg's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, did you guys see the story about Flavor Flav?
Oh, is it the water polo? Women's water polo?
Well, he is basically bankrolling the USA water polo team. So he's in Paris, and apparently there was a shot putter for an American shot putter. I guess she's still in college, and she put a tweet out basically saying, "Yeah, I'm here in Paris, getting ready to go. Just found out that my rent is due, and I don't have the money to to cover it." And Flavor Flav saw the tweet, and he responds, and he goes, "Listen, you worry about winning a medal tomorrow. DM me, I got you." 10 minutes later, sends the receipt to her, paid for her rent for a year, so she didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Flavor Flav, man. How cool is it to have the kind of money that you can do that kind of crap?
What about him? He's there for 2 weeks. It ain't cheap to go to Paris, guys. It isn't cheap.
Oh.
He F the police, man. He can do whatever he wants.
I can tell you right now.
He's got that big clock.
They're not paying for a whole lot of anything over there. They're getting a lot of that stuff. Snoop Dogg is on NBC's dime over there because they sent him over there originally because he's the fourth coach on the upcoming season of The Voice.
Right.
And it just turned into be something much bigger.
Oh, he's going to be on The Voice? I might watch that season. I might watch.
Hey, Snoop Dogg and Reba. Snoop Dogg,
Reba, Gwen Stefani, and I can't think of who the fourth one is, but yes. John Legend.
Is it Bublé?
Yeah. Oh
no, it's Bublé. It's Bublé. Michael Bublé.
Right.
Yeah.
Guess who has decided to join us, boys?
Langhauser.
No. Well,
a closet.
Nobody. Casper.
It's Chris Miller. It's Chris Miller.
Oh. There he is.
Oh. Well, why don't we do this?
It's Chris Miller's shirt.
Oh, now he's gone.
No, why don't we do this? Okay. So, go ahead, Zach.
Well, I was going to say, what all did you talk about the Noah Lyles and running and all of that? Because that's pretty.
Can we finish up the Olympics and then go to break?
Yeah. Why don't we do this? Why don't we go to break real quick? We'll come back. We'll start with that. Is that what you said, Jarvis?
No, that ain't what I said.
Go to break.
All right.
Jim's just wanting to go to bed early.
No, I know. He tries to get the show. You notice how quick we're moving right now. Oh, it's 29.23. We got to go. 30-minute break. I need a pee. I'm old.
One less minute each segment means he gets to bed 3 minutes earlier.
Oh, it means he gets to the max sooner.
No, I was gonna say we're gonna be getting those.
Really? I didn't know you did that last night, Jim.
One of these Hey, one of these days, he's just going to do like Jarvis and pick that computer up and like start using it walking down the street while he's on the way to the Mac to finish.
I guarantee you, there will be a night that I will go down there and do my part.
Won't happen. You ain't got the cojones.
Oh yeah, I do.
Oh my gosh.
So, but Zach, go ahead. I mean,
let's go to break. We'll come back. Go to break.
Yeah, we'll come back.
I want to go off on Michigan. So I want full statement on Michigan.
No, how about you quit? Wait,
I am ready to rip and roar.
You know you're ready. Anytime we mention Mizzou, you have a comment right back about,
you think that I hate Mizzou? I don't hate Mizzou.
The way you respond is hate.
I hate Mizzou.
The way you respond is hate.
It is not hate. Zach, will you tell us about Noah Lyles, please?
Okay. All right. So before we go to break, so Noah Lyles, they ran the final of the 200. So this was Noah Lyles had won gold in the 100, and he was trying to double, first time since Carl Lewis, in 40 years. And so he wound up finishing third. Guy from the United States took silver, and somebody else.
It was the Jamaican. I think it was the Jamaican.
No, it wasn't Jamaican. No, it was somebody from Africa. Took gold in the 200. But come to find out, apparently, Lyles had tested positive for COVID 2 days earlier. Now, here's where I look at everything, and to me, it comes off as very suspect. And here's why. Okay. That's fine if you had COVID. That's fine that you didn't win gold. All right. But like I said in the group chat, you can't do all this talking and not perform, and you can't showboat and then things
blame
like
it on
happen.
Something else.
And it immediately came off as I'm trying to make this excuse why I didn't win gold and I underperformed. Now, maybe because of medical, you're not FERPA, HIPAA, whatever it's called. You're not supposed to talk about your medical history. But if you knew you had COVID and tested positive 2 days ago, why would you not have said, hey guys, hey world, I've got COVID. So if I don't perform well, that's why. It just after the fact, the optics of it to me just comes off as, well, I've got to make an excuse because I didn't perform and I didn't make gold. And I don't know. It just came off
terrible. Sorry.
Go ahead. So what's your guys' thoughts?
No, I said Goldie's terrible because he's hitting a double play. It's terrible.
I agree with you, Zach. The optics are horrible with the whole situation. And they laid on the track. It's like, come on, dude, get up off the track. Go do what you. But what killed me, and if I'm NBC, I'm livid right now. Okay, you're wearing a mask, but you're just going to do an interview now, and you're going to come out and say, oh, yeah, I got COVID. Lewis Johnson's got to be like, what in the absolute heck? Because now, these guys are supposed to fly home in 3-4 days. Lewis Johnson may get COVID and may have to stay in Paris for another 4 or 5 days. That's the part that riled me up was if you've got it, stay away from everybody.
Mm-hmm. Even aside from all that, I'm with Zach. He probably, give yourself a little bit of a net there to fall back into if that doesn't happen. And then the way he behaved afterwards, it's Hey,
how about take the L and be graceful with it? You got a gold already. You're getting a bronze. It ain't like you're the freaking loser. But being a baby. That's all. That's immaturity.
Did I read correctly that another American would have gotten into the race if he dropped out?
Yes.
Did really?
Yes.
Because I knew there were 3 running. I knew there were 3 in the finals. So
I thought based on the prelims that I thought I had read somewhere that if he dropped out, another American would have gotten in. Maybe I'm wrong on that one.
Well, no, I said no. You know what? I think you're talking about the relay because he's supposed to anchor the 4x1.
Yeah,
he didn't run in the prelim today.
Well, U.S. Track should just pull him from that one.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean they're fast enough. They're gonna win. They're gonna win the 4x1 by at least a second. They're that deep. But what about this though? Real quick, the 16-year-old that placed fourth in the 400, he's running tomorrow in the 4x400 relay prelim. They're gonna let him go after it.
Yep. Yeah, that's cool.
Which he would become the youngest American to participate in those Summer Olympics, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Wait, in track and field, because you're not don't say Summer Olympics, because there's like gymnasts that are like 8 performing. So.
I want to bring up another thing I thought was pretty cool about the Olympics, and actually the guy is taking a little heat, is the Chicago Bears, Jonathan Owens, who is married to Miles. And I mean,
it was awesome.
I think Chicago Bears did the right thing. They gave him permission.
Yeah.
This is his wife.
Well, did you see the Hard Knocks? So Hard Knocks had the first episode.
I need to watch that. I did not.
You have not.
It's
watched
awesome.
It's
a good season.
I'm telling you what, Peyton Manning and all the people behind the Hard Knocks and everything, they're brilliant. They're making buku bucks, and it's good. And it's good TV, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I sat there and watched it, and I didn't know who Jonathan Owens was.
CBC did. He
from
CBC. He's from CBC.
And awesome. I mean, they showed like him watching it at home, and it was cool, man. I thought it was a cool story, and I think,
but he's getting flack from who?
Just in media and other.
Yeah, because he's missing training camp and things like that.
3 or 4 days of training camp.
I mean,
it's not like he's a rookie doing this either. He's been around the block a time or two. He's staying in shape.
Well, they were saying, he may not make the team. I'm like,
he's going to make the team.
At this point,
they traded Green Bay to get him. He's going to make the team.
Yeah, I think I'll tell you what. I love Chicago Bears head coach. I like him.
He's
definitely. He comes off as not maybe because of Dan Campbell and last year's Hard Knocks. Like he definitely comes off on the other end of the spectrum, more if you want to call it analytical, cool, calm, and collected. I don't want to use the word players coach because I don't even know what the heck that means when you talk about professionally what that. But yeah, he definitely has a different, as the kids say, aura
too. But I mean,
but here's the other thing too. So everybody watched the Dolphins Hard Knocks in the midseason. In the first episode, how many times did you hear Mike McDonald drop the F-bomb?
Yeah.
In the first 5 minutes. I don't think I heard one F-bomb in the whole first show of the Bears season.
Well, and people will argue and say you don't need to cuss. It's just a different – some people are just different. I mean, I had my defensive coordinator in college. His favorite word was F. I mean, it was – and usually mother was in front of it. And dude – for me as a player, the way he yelled at me, it fired. I would get so mad at him sometimes that I just wanted to rip the other team and the other people and just whatever I could get my hands on. And I look at it like, he probably didn't need to do that, but we were kind of a group of kids in college that our defense kind of fed off of his energy.
You responded to it.
I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I mean, there's several. Tony Dungy, I don't think ever hardly cussed, and some of these guys.
Yeah. Tony Dungy didn't cuss, but Tony Dungy had people on his staff that would if it was necessary. And Eberflus probably has the same thing. There's people on that staff, maybe not on camera, but it's like, hey, go take. He'd turn to somebody on his staff and go, hey, Jim, go get that guy's butt.
On that note, we're going to take a break.
We should have took a break before you clean out your schnauzer.
I had to blow my nose. Stop it. When we come back, we're going to talk about the main topic of the night. Is there more trouble ahead for Michigan? The answer is yes, and we'll get to it next. You're watching
the Ohio State Buckeyes suck.
Oh, here it goes. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching the Coach's Box. Call it like we see it, episode 201. We'll be back in a minute.
M-I-Z.
Z-O-U.
I'm a bee, and I bumbled my way into your car. Buzz. But this hive isn't big enough for the both of us. Boo!
Oh, wow, what a buzzkill. And if you don't have the right auto insurance coverage,
Paying for this could really sting. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem. Like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
It's Between Takes with Daikin and Dave Mars.
Good. All right, next set up.
Hey, Dave, we got another question about energy savings. And this is a good one.
Yeah, efficiency is so important.
Didn't you just talk with Daikin about this?
They said energy efficiency is the key to a happy marriage. She gets the temperature, I get the savings.
Good to know. I'll tell them to check with their local Daikin dealer.
All right, back to one.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Entertainment, you need full-length content, you need the Real Fresh channel. Hey, I'm Half Fresh from the Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today on YouTube. We have new content. We are a network of podcasters putting out new stuff every single day. Whether you need sports, pro or college, whether you need comedies, whether you need pop culture, whether you need wrestling, we've got so much content on there. Gaming, check it out. Live, not live, we've got it all. The Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today. And we're back on the Coach's Box, and Jarvis is gone. Oh, there he is.
There's Jarvis. Oh, there's Jarvis.
It's almost like, where's Waldo?
Uh-huh.
I do what I want.
I know. How's the shoulder feeling, by the way, Jarvis?
Like crap. I got it out of the sling right now because it's killing me.
Dude, the sling's supposed to help you?
They're full of crap. No, I can't sleep. It's killing me. I slept maybe this week, 4 days. I probably slept 20-something hours. It's been rough.
Oh, it's almost like what's going on up in Michigan right now.
All right, Jim. So tell us.
I know, Jim. Right? Everybody else, we might just look at your phone, do whatever you want. Jim's going to go on a rant.
Set it up, knock it down.
No,
all of it.
So
here we go. Go ahead.
I'm driving back, and the breaking news was the initial report on the Michigan signal stealing. What is that?
It's probably somebody's phone.
Oh, Jarvis.
Probably Jarvis's phone.
Jarvis is on the phone again.
I'm getting yelled at because I was leaning on the table and bearing weight. I guess she must have looked online and said, "You're bearing weight on your shoulder."
Oh my gosh! So now he's gonna put the sling back on. He's in trouble.
What guy ever thought getting married was smart in the world?
All right, Jim, quickly, while his headphones are out, let's do this.
Yeah, no kidding. So the initial reports for the sign stealing thing comes out, and they're basically going after Michigan, and it's the head coach who's there now, Harbaugh, who left, and we'll get into that second piece of Harbaugh here in a second, and 6 other coaches were all listed in this. And so basically they're trying to go with a show cause because now Michigan is being classified as a repeat offender because of what happened with the COVID recruiting issue, that Harbaugh yesterday got a 4-year show cause. And basically that's just a death sentence. I mean, if he crashes and burns at Los Angeles, he doesn't have a safety net to come back to the NCAA until 2028. It's just a death sentence.
No.
I mean, if he...
Yes, Jarvis.
There's Jarvis.
Sorry, my son is watching the show upstairs. And
Nice.
he's yelling, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy" at the TV. Anyway. That's how I got caught. I had my sling on.
There you go. So basically, and I misspoke on the one thing. They're not going to probably go after their national championship from last year. There's probably going to be one hell of a fine. But also, if Sherrone Moore, the new head coach, if they go after this and pursue it, he's probably going to get a show cause put on him as well, because he would be considered a repeat offender, and he may not coach a game this year. It all depends how quick the NCAA is going to go with this thing.
Well, deep down, he is just smiling. He is loving every minute of this. This Ohio State fan.
Hey, Kevin, I got a pop quiz for you. So is this Maryland? Are we talking about Maryland?
No.
Are we talking about Missouri?
Probably Mizzou will get punished for this somehow. I
don't
know.
No.
Are we talking Kansas?
Are we talking about
Kansas?
Are we talking about Alabama?
Just stop. No. We're talking about Michigan.
We're talking about Michigan. Nothing is going to happen, Jim. I hate to bust your bubble.
I'm telling you, something is going to happen, because if the COVID thing didn't happen, I'll agree with you.
But it won't be the COVID. It won't be anything that will match the crime. The punishment will not match the crime. The punishment will be like getting a 1-month probation for.
They're all going to get their wrists slapped, and it's going to be over with.
Yes.
And then, they're going to beat. They're going to beat Ohio State's ass this year, and everyone will be happy.
They're not. Just stop it,
Jim. Even if somebody coaches get suspended for games, whether it would be, it still is not enough for what they've done, because they've done it a couple of times. They really need to, like they reset this thing with the SMU thing. They really need to kind of give somebody the death penalty. I don't know that it's ever going to be.
It's never going to happen again.
I'm not saying whether it is. I'm not saying it's going to. I'm saying at some point they should. It's the ever-present. Sometimes you got to shoot a hostage method. This is one of those situations.
It's too big to fail. Hey, it's too big to fail. Guys, we already went through this in our own lives at about, 08-ish, 09-ish. It's too big to fail. Okay? You can't do that with a Michigan institution. You can't do that with the Big Ten.
Put them in the – I'll tell you what, then what you do, you put them in the MAC. Give them 5 years in the MAC.
Put Michigan in the MAC.
Yes. Because then they don't get Big Ten money. They can let them get MAC money.
That's true.
Hey, they have jump man money.
Make them be independent. Get them out of a conference.
You mentioned that. In the group text, and you know what? The NCAA ain't looking at that stuff. They're not. I mean, the thing is, and I agree with Kevin. The only way these shenanigans are going to change, and not happen is if somebody shoot the hostage, so to say, somebody gets basically nailed to the wall and the hammer gets dropped. Do I think it's going to happen with Michigan? No. Do I see their current head coach getting a show cause put on him and probably suspended for a year? I could see that. Do I see a $500,000 fine? I can see that. You
say 500,000?
Do you see
what Booster's going to say? Do you want that out of my wallet? Do you want that out of the ATM?
You want it nickels and pennies, ones and tens?
You know,
but are they going to suspend the program from the postseason for a year? They're not going to do that? Because
nobody has said that yet.
Well, let's say even if they suspend Moore for a year and Michigan decides, hey, we're just going to fire him anyway type of thing because he gets a show cause. Who's to say? Michigan's the kind of program that's going to go get some other A-level coach to come in and be there because they're coming off a national championship. They're loaded with talent in all four classes. So until they get some sort of serious penalty on the program, they're just going to go find somebody else to take the place and nothing changes.
Jim, here's the only reason why I would agree with you. If it was last year's Big Ten, if it was the year before's Big Ten, and so on and so forth, nothing would happen to Michigan. But the fact that you now have added Oregon, you now have added Washington, you now have added USC, you've added all those other schools, you have other prime time programs to fill that Ohio State, Michigan vote, that because they're basically the only two teams worth a darn in the Big Ten. Sorry, rule. When you say it's the NFL conference, no, not so much. But now that you have some other primetime programs in there, I will give you, there is a little bit of leverage to do some form of punishment against Michigan.
The thing is, and here's the stat, and somebody put a graphic on Twitter that yesterday, I think it was Michigan's record from when Harbaugh started to when this whole scouting thing allegedly started beginning in 22. And they had like maybe 30, 35 losses or something like that. Then once this whole scouting thing started, I think there was only 2 losses or 3 losses, maybe. So you can't tell me that there's not at least a little bit, of a fire there, so to say, with the whole deal. And here's the other reason why this thing's all come out. Connor Stallion, who apparently is somewhere now, nobody knows, but apparently
witness protection,
probably. Because there's another little nugget that came out too with this whole thing. But apparently there's something coming out on Netflix in 2 weeks about this whole thing. And he apparently is going to name names.
He's now the head of the scouting for the Chargers. So.
Well, the running back quorum.
Yeah.
Apparently somehow it got leaked that Corum and Stallion are in business together. So now that just adds another layer to the whole three-ring circus.
What does Corum care? He's already in the NFL. He's going to go.
Right, exactly. No, without a doubt. But now what could happen with this whole thing is now you've got a player with direct involvement in it. So
you got a whole program with direct involvement.
I was going to say, that's.
Yeah. And I'm not saying this because I am an Ohio State fan. I'm tired of these shenanigans.
I'm just going to laugh.
I'm tired of these shenanigans that are happening in college football.
No. Well, I'm going to say this, Jim. The whole ban on in-person scouting, it happens
it's a joke.
Everywhere.
It's a joke.
Everywhere. Ohio State does in-person scouting. Michigan was just dumb enough to get caught.
Oh, and Stallion.
How dare you say that about Ohio State?
But it's probably true. It is probably true. It's probably Mizzou's doing it.
Jim's doing it.
Jim's doing it.
Jarvis Jarvis can attest to this, and Chris would if he's here. Jim, we have been at MBCA coaching clinics in Columbia College, where you would have, I think it was Bill Self was the keynote speaker one year, and you had Mizzou guys, you had other guys that was on their schedule, other coaches from other programs, literally there just simply to listen to him talk. And he even said in front of everybody, "Oh, I see so-and-so's here, this school's here, that school. Guys, I'm not going to say anything to give anything away." So like there are so many behind the scenes. If you don't think they've got satellites linked up and drones and all that, I mean, come on now. It is. Hey, Alabama, I saw this today. Alabama at their practice facilities with
I saw this too. Yeah,
that are right across the street, right? All that where they said when you sign the lease to rent, you can't watch practice from X amount of hours on the day, from 2 to 4 or whatever it is. You can't be out on your own balcony.
You can't sit on your deck.
So it's everywhere. Yeah, you can't sit on.
They stopped practice because some air conditioning guys were working on the roof and they stopped practice, and the security guard went over there and go get them off. Get them off.
Hey, you know where they're learning all this stuff from? The Canadian soccer team. Come on now, let's go drones.
Probably from the Patriots.
Well, this was all learned from Bill Belichick, that cheating mother.
Hey, deflate. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
what does Chris always say? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Super Bowls.
The best way to scout. The best way to scout football is in person.
Oh,
so everybody's going to do it.
I'll say this, and with the advent of Huddle now, and some of these other companies that people are using, Sky Coach and all that, it's actually now you can get away with not in-person scouting. I don't know of a lot of high schools that are sending out coaches anymore for in-person scouting because they just get all the film off of Huddle in exchanges, and Huddle breaks everything down for you.
My wife gets mad at me because I still go to the games.
Yeah.
And live. And she's like, you can get the tape from somebody. Babe, I know, but I like to go. I like to hear. I would sit there and listen to Chris call his plays. I mean, hell, the names.
That's just because Chris won't give you any film. But.
Right. Well, that's part of the issue.
He's kind of a jerk.
Right?
Maybe now that he's back in public.
You talk about everything being filmed.
He'll be better.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's the whole Michigan
everything being filmed. Have you? Go ahead, Jim.
You there?
What happened with your internet? Wait, you live over there in the rich district. You can't even get some internet that works. Let's do it again.
Mine's fine. Uh-oh.
So I mean, we're talking about drone. We're talking about drones and practice and all of that. Hey, did you see what happened at Hoover High School and their high school coaches? I mean, now it's a small little clip, but you've got a couple coaches.
What happened? I missed that.
I'm thinking so you've got one coach, Kevin, I'm going to use the term teabagging a player. And then you've got another coach.
He said it. He said T.
You got it. Yeah. You got
Chris, I know you're watching.
Clip
this.
Yeah.
Clip this.
Yeah.
Clip this.
And you've got the other coach that runs across the field basically and slams into a player that either missed a block or missed an assignment. And again, it's bird's eye view. And I'm thinking, this is Hoover. I mean, this is going back to 05, 06 when they did 2-a-days.
Well,
on MTV. This program.
Days.
Oh,
the Russ Probst days.
Yeah. So
when he was in Hoover. Did you? And by the way, talking about Netflix, did you guys get a chance to watch it? I forget what it's called now, but it's when Probst went to Valdosta for 1 year, and that's when he had Garcia come over from California, come to Valdosta, Georgia, and then the Georgia Association said, "No, this kid ain't playing." That's why Garcia transferred to another school. But Russ Probst is an absolute piece of garbage. And you're talking about a dude that's been reprimanded at 3 different schools, he may never coach high school again. And he's a hell of an offensive mind.
So it's all it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I mean, it again. You know, Chris says they all cheat. Chris, you're absolutely right. If you're not apparently, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Well, I guess I'm not trying because I don't cheat.
But here's the thing, though, with Harbaugh. Now, here's the thing with Harbaugh, and I saw this. So when Jim Tressel got nailed at Ohio State, and there was talk that he may go to the NFL, Goodell basically called him and said, "You got to show cause. If you go coach an NFL team, you're going to be suspended for 6 games. You're not going to. The NFL is not going to be a safe haven." So now people are kind of kicking around the thought that Goodell may do a 4-game suspension on Harbaugh.
Oh,
because
Goodell.
Harbaugh,
I wonder that.
Everybody knows why Harbaugh left. Everybody does.
But he left before all of that came down from the NCAA. So he didn't run from the NCAA. He got out before it happened. He knew it was coming. So it is tougher for Goodell to say that he did that for that reason. So I don't think they're going to do anything to him there either.
No.
It'll be interesting. It'll
I don't
be
think
very
they would.
interesting.
You can hope all you want, Jim. Nope.
I'm saying it will be interesting, even though I do not like Jim Harbaugh. Somebody asked me, "What do you like his brother?" Yeah, his brother's a hell of a coach. He's not a douche like Harbaugh, like Jim is. So, and he
may
doesn't
be
wear
a douche.
khaki pants every. I want to see Harbaugh not wear khaki pants on the sidelines for the Chargers this year.
Ohio cheats too. Someone just text me that.
I'm sure they do. Everybody does.
Hey,
Once
Ohio
again,
State.
say it.
Ohio State had the refs in their pocket when Miami should have won back in 2001. You can't tell me that phantom flag late that helped Ohio State win.
Call.
It
was not.
Stop.
It was an interference call.
Hold on. We only have to say one. Maurice Claret. That's all we have to say at this point.
Yes.
Illegal jerseys.
Yes. You got to be kidding me.
Hey,
you cannot.
No. Woody Hayes, talk about Ohio State. Woody Hayes punching. Come on now.
The clutch of dude is going down the sideline. Claret, I was still in Youngstown when Claret, and if you watch the Youngstown boys on 30 for 30s,
yes,
they nailed the story. They really, really nailed the story, except the only thing they did not get right was Claret went to 4 different high schools. He went to Cheney or Youngstown East his freshman year. Then he went to Cheney his sophomore year. Then Austintown Fitch his junior year, and then Warren Western Reserve his senior year.
Cardinals never want to sweep anyone. They never want to sweep anyone. You suck.
Oh, jeez. All right, so we got
they were winning.
Out of the way. When we come back, when we were winning,
they lost.
When we come back, big news coming out of the Mich office yesterday.
Oh my gosh!
The shot clock in certain aspects is coming to Missouri. We'll talk about that. Plus, also,
he's almost right on the dot. 3 minutes after the hour.
Because I know this last segment's going to be an hour, so I can already tell because of the shot
Chris
clock
isn't
conversation. Yeah, that's true too. So, but we'll be back in a minute as we talk a little bit about some of the high school stuff going on and the shot clock going to be test ran in Missouri this year.
If you guys didn't know, we got an awesome new field. Come check it out.
We're going to talk about that as well. It's the Coach's Box, episode 201. As we call it like you see it, we'll be back in a moment.
I'm a bee, and I bumbled my way into your car. Buzz. But this hive isn't big enough for the both of us. Boo!
Oh, wow, what a buzzkill. And if you don't have the right auto insurance coverage,
paying for this could really sting. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem. Like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
It's Between Takes with Daikin and Dave Mars.
Cut. All right, next set up.
Hey, Dave, we got another question about energy savings. And this is a good one.
Yeah, efficiency is so important.
Didn't you just talk with Daikin about this?
They said energy efficiency is the key to a happy marriage. She gets the temperature, I get the savings.
Good to know. I'll tell them to check with their local Daikin dealer.
All right, back to one.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Entertainment, you need full-length content, you need the Real Fresh channel. Hey, I'm Half Fresh from the Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today on YouTube. We have new content. We are a network of podcasters putting out new stuff every single day. Whether you need sports, pro or college, whether you need comedies, whether you need pop culture, whether you need wrestling, we've got so much content on there. Gaming, check it out. Live, not live, we've got it all. The Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today.
And we welcome you back to the Coach's Box, episode 201. The whole crew, except for Chris Miller's here. And by the way, got a couple of reasons why Chris is not with us. We want to send a lot of thoughts and prayers down to his family and also to the great folks down at South Iron on some losses that took place over the last week or so. So thoughts and prayers going out to everybody involved with that stuff. So that's why, as much as we're kidding that Chris isn't here, I just want to get that out there. So also just a reminder that On the Move with the Caravan will come back in 2 weeks, I believe, and we'll be ready to go for season 3 of that, as me and Chris will preview a lot of high school football stuff from around the area, not only Jeffco, but also some St. Louis stuff. So that'll be coming up here in a couple weeks as well. All right, boys, let's talk high school stuff. First off, Jarvis, talk a little bit about that brand new little fancy play toy y'all got.
Man, our new field is sweet. I mean, there's just nothing more I can say. It's just sweet.
Hey, gonna be nice change.
I'll tell you, I went down there today, and I hadn't been on it yet. And man, it's just the feel of it is just so spongy. It's like, man, yeah, soft, like just it's phenomenal. I couldn't imagine being able to play on something like that.
Y'all gonna be able to start on it day one on Monday?
Oh yeah, it's our junior high. It's already been on it, and we'll be on it on Monday.
Okay, can I ask this? Are they going to put up a sign that says, no dogs or animals on the field?
I sure hope so, but I don't.
Okay, I got to tell the story just because it's 20 years old. So our first the statue. I'm
going to turn my TV down. You got it might be mine. I don't know.
It is yours.
So I'm at a Herky my first 2 years teaching, doing junior high football. We've got a really, really good team my very first year. We've got a stud running back. Okay. It's picture day. It's picture day for the St. Thomas Black Hats, and it's a grass field. All of
This
that.
when you were there?
Well, this is when I was there 20 years ago, and so before pictures, huh?
Was this football?
What? This is football. This is picture day. Okay, so you're trying to. It's like herding cats, waiting for pictures. Junior high kids waiting on pictures. Grass field. So our stud running back is out goofing around with several of the other guys. He somehow he winds up sliding on the grass. No big deal, right? Except somebody walked their dog through the football field at some point and let the dog poop all over the field. So you know where this is going. He slid into it. He slid into it before our pictures. And there's coach, what are we going to do? I said, we aren't doing anything, buddy. We got pictures. Hop on in. Let's go. So it was, everybody was rolling. The stud, the best player on the team. Oh my gosh. But such a great kid.
We're off air later. And when we're done, after hours, I got to know the name.
The after hours show.
You were a crystal. You were a crystal. You were
several years
ago
back then. Several years ago, we had a start of a football game at Pius delayed because somebody had the bright idea to put a lancer on a real horse, and let him lead the team out, and just left all the way through the field. So they had the horse went out, got spooked by the band.
Oh, they didn't have like the bag behind it?
Well, the team was right behind him, and the band just started playing the drum line. The whole band took off, spooked the horse. The horse just left it as they were running across field, so somebody had to go by and pick all of them up before they could start the game. So,
wow.
Hey, Langhauser, I agree. None of these dudes have their backgrounds they're boring.
Mine's just a sheet.
My crutches are still over there.
Yeah.
I'm sure mine's not really politically correct either, but
I like yours, Jarvis.
Hey, you call like
these signs. These signs have been here for 20 years.
By the way, Langhauser wants me to say that he's the best.
He thinks Zach's sitting on a toilet the whole time he does the show.
Hey, that is does. Now that you say that, it kind of looks like he's sitting on a toilet, doesn't it?
Well, it's I'm in the bedroom. It is our barn door to the bathroom, but yeah.
Zach's just got the computer up on the sink. He's just sitting there. And,
by the way, Langhauser wants me to reaffirm
use the bidet. No, that's Jarvis.
That's Jarvis. And Langhauser said he's the best high school basketball official in the state, and Jarvis would agree with that.
What state? Insanity?
Langhauser? Oh my gosh! What state? The state of insanity?
You're probably the only official watching right now, so yes, you're right. You are the best.
Yeah, because we know Nolan's not watching. I mean, Nolan is probably halfway through a bottle of Tito's for all we know.
I'm not a basketball coach. Nolan's not even part of that conversation of officials.
I was going to say, if I have a choice, Nolan or Langhauser, it's going to be Langhauser every time.
Wow!
Oh my goodness! Hey, we haven't heard from Tim in a while. He always used to post, so he must be busy.
Probably.
Yeah,
so okay, so
that's who I thought you were talking about. Yeah, he's too
always
busy watching. Is it his brother that plays for Farmington?
Okay.
I didn't see him officiating as much last year.
We had him a bunch of times.
Well, maybe
Jarvis. We're getting old. We're getting old.
My games.
Yeah, he blackballed Turkey instead of the other way around.
Wow.
I'm sure that's not the only ref that's blackballed us, so it's all good.
So talking about officials, because this is going to be a big pain in the neck for them, MSHSAA has come out and said that the 35-second shot clock will be allowed to be used in regular season tournaments and shootouts. You guys know my stance on it. I'm not a fan. The thing is, yes, okay, let's run the the balloon up there and see what happens with it and all that kind of stuff. Small schools are still going to shoot it down. And the only way it's going to be mandated in Missouri is if NFHS finally comes out and says it's mandated.
A step don't you think this is a step towards that?
Unfortunately,
it all depends on the small schools.
As long as each state or enough states at some point have it out that it's allowed to be used, at some point the NFHS is just going to say,
they're going to have to come out,
where they're going. They're going to have to come out and say it. Is it only for tournaments and shootouts? Can schools choose to do it for regular season games?
Only regular season tournaments and shootouts.
Man, that's for this first year. That seems like a lot of money to outlay for something that's not a full-time thing. So I can see why some schools probably wouldn't want
Ron
to do it.
Rhodes says it's only if both coaches agree.
It's tournament play, regular season tournament. If the tournament organizers have said we're doing it, then the coaches have no say in it.
Yeah. If you basically, Ron, if you join the tournament, you're agreeing to it. If you don't agree to it, you're not in the tournament.
You can back out of the tournament.
Speaking of, Park Hill's one of the biggest tournaments in the South over Christmas. Are they going to have it, you think?
I think so.
They already have it up on their.
They already have it up. They just have to get some of the equipment to make sure it's updated.
I wonder, does the other
and they have, and they always.
The big one.
I bet you the one in Cape does, and the one at Park Hills does.
And I've already heard rumblings that the Viz tournament, the girls' tournament up at Visitation, is going to have
that'll be interesting as a coach, because that's fine. I don't care. I love the Park Hills tournament. Even though I get my tail handed to me a lot of times down there, but. Kids don't get to play in those type of environments very much. And we have some packed gyms when we play R7 and some of that, but it's fun to go down there at the Christmas tournament. But that's going to be a whole different beast to prepare for when we're not doing it all year. And then we're going to get to Christmas. I'm going to be like, we're going to be in practice. I'm going to have to practice it.
How are you gonna prepare your kids to look for the shot clock when you're practicing in a gym that doesn't have a shot clock?
You put 35 seconds up on the clock and just run it.
But that's not where But you want your kids to be trained to look at above the backboard.
You got to do what you got to do.
I know, but that's my question. Okay. How are you going to do what you've got to do?
Like Jim said, you got the scoreboard at each end, so I know it's a little to the left, but. You'll still get the idea of it, and I'd have to put something in as a coach. Like, we get to 10 seconds, you hear me say this is what we're doing.
Here's what I would ask as a coach. I'm going to ask as Jarvis as a coach, and then Jim as an official here. As a coach, Jason, if you go back and look at your possessions, if we're talking a 35-second clock, how many possessions would you honestly say are longer than 35? And then, Jim, from the official's perspective, let me ask you this. With the official shortage anyway, does that cause more hesitancy for people to be like, that's more responsibility, I don't want to do it? Is it tougher to officiate with the shot clock? Like what? There's all of these types of questions when we're talking. We're going to implement this.
Your part to me again was what?
In your possession in a regular game, how many possessions do you think you actually have that are longer than 35 seconds?
Well, if I was to go back and look, the 2 years that I won 17 games, we probably had several possessions that may have went past 35 seconds, but typically. High school kids aren't patient enough, unless you're running the flex, patient enough to go that long without jacking up a shot. You think about it, and I'm not going to lie, in my last three years as a coach, dude, we're trying to score in transition as much as we can. So 35 seconds, a lot of times we may have shot more than once already, Here's the thing. Like, I'm one of those coaches that is I'm neither for or against. If we're going to do it, fine, I'll adapt. If we don't do it, same as it's always been. They do it in college. I mean, it is something that a lot of other states are doing.
Right.
And, the excuse of, it's a struggle to get people to do it. You're going to get somebody to do it eventually. I don't know. It's just that it's a lot of money for a Class 1 school to have to do.
Well, Langhauser just basically put something up there. No one will buck up $7,500 that it'll cost to put in permanent shot clocks.
They'll do it. Somebody will. I'm with Chris. Somebody will do it. Everybody will find a way to do it if it's a rule.
They'll do it.
There's some
Arkansas's doing it. I mean, come on.
I understand that, but there are a lot of small schools that will not be able to afford. That's why
they'll be able to afford it in the sense that if MSHSAA doesn't say, "Hey, we're going to it in November,"
most schools, if I needed $7,500, if I went to say, I'm not saying Herky, I'm just saying most coaches, if you needed to come up with $7,500 and either have a season, not have a season, you're going to get $7,500.
Yeah, if it
comes
down to it,
you're going to get. If it comes down to it, you're going to get the money to be able to put it in.
If MSHSAA were to say now, "Hey,
money's to me, money's a BS excuse for it."
If MSHSAA were to say, "Hey, in 26, 27, we're going to the shot clock full time," that gives schools plenty of time to come up.
Now everybody's got plenty of time to maneuver. Exactly.
Hey, Ron, I'm not saying that we should do it. I'm not saying because everyone else is doing it. I'm just saying a lot of states are doing it. College is doing it. It's
the trickle down effect.
Well, it's good. Do they do it?
See, I don't. Okay, I'm going to say this. I don't buy the trickle down effect from college. Just like with the whole volleyball set thing, because we're talking 1% of high school
7%.
basketball players.
7% of high school basketball
college.
Players.
Okay, 7% are gonna go maybe for a semester play basketball. Okay, so you're gonna make a rule for the 7%, just like volleyball. We're gonna say the 5 sets because we got to get them prepared for college. They're doing their club ball. Let their club ball do 5 sets. Like that, like Jarvis says, the whole BS thing with money. I say that's the whole BS thing with, we got to get them ready for college. Like, come on. I'm not
saying it's, but why shouldn't we do it? If that's what everyone, if the pros do it, colleges do it, why shouldn't high school do it?
Right. You're right. So
every other aspect.
You want my answer? Do you want my answer okay, because pro players are professionals, are getting paid. College athletes, in all intents and purposes, are professional athletes getting paid. The kids are amateur status. And my only thing against it is that there's no – if you're going to put the shot clock in, then say at halftime, ball game's over with when you're up 50, 60, whatever. I think we've seen enough of the 100 to 10s that – I think maybe statistically now it's 130 to 11. And I don't see that's the only little bit that I see about adding a shot clock is fourth quarter we can hold the ball.
I would like to see part of the mercy rule become once you're up 40 in the second half, there is no shot clock, so one team can just run the damn thing down without trying to score more.
Right.
That's what I'd like to see.
That's it. And that's a very minute percentage of the reality of the game.
No,
but again, if we're going to sit here and make rules for the 7%, then change the rule that way. So I don't know.
So all right, so Zach, I'm going to answer both sides of it.
Chris made a great point, but go ahead.
Yeah, he does. We'll get to that here in a second. On the coaching side, at Lutheran South, it may be the way that we run tempo and we run transition. I can count on one hand maybe when we're above 35 seconds, and that's just the way that Ben coaches. That's the way we want to get in transition. We want to go.
Hey Jim, I've seen it. You guys get ahead by 50 and you're still doing it. So yeah, but go ahead. Anyway, go ahead.
I knew that was coming. So, on the officiating side,
I thought maybe they had a shot clock when they played Herky. I mean, the way they just kept trying to score. Hey, I'm like, dude, the game's over, boy. Chill.
With our JVs, never mind. Anyway.
Well, no crap with your JV. You guys are way bigger. Well, maybe not way bigger, but you're a private school. You should whoop us.
Oh, here we go. Back to that.
We get what we get. We don't get to recruit.
But on the officiating side, it's going to be a challenge. I think for some of the younger officials, it's going to be interesting to see what that's going to translate into. And I'm just going to say this: older officials, you may get some older guys that may not want to deal with the shot clock and may decide to walk away or just do lower level stuff. Okay. But I don't know how it's going to translate to officiating, especially with the shortage that we have. I mean, hell, football this year, and there's at least 5 Thursday night games every week this year. Wow. The assigners have basically told schools, we need schools to play a Thursday night game because we just don't have the bodies for Friday.
Dang.
And you're also going to see more Saturday games.
Sounds like we all need to go to a 4-day school week then, so that way that's not an issue.
I would love that. But
yeah, I'll say that Chris makes a point about having a kid run the shot clock. Somebody finds I have some trouble with that sometimes because the shot clock's difficult to run at first. And it can be difficult to run based on the flow of the game and how fast the game's going. Resets this resets, this doesn't. The first time that kid or someone, even an adult, it doesn't matter, kids or adult, messes up, you're going to hear it from the crowd, and sometimes that crowd's sitting a foot behind that kid at the table, or some coaches are being real a-holes about the thing.
Oh, yeah,
they're just
exactly
letting some 17-year-old kid have it.
Great. Okay, wham. It's gonna happen. I'm with Chris on this, but football always have a clock. Did they always have a 40-second clock in high school football?
Yeah, sometimes they didn't have the clock. You just kept the official.
Did they have it?
They had it. So that they had it.
So
but sometimes
if we can have it in football,
if
you can have it in football in high school, you can have it in basketball.
Right. It's totally different. It's apples and oranges.
Oh, I don't give a crap. You guys all make excuses.
Hold on.
It's a bunch of bull crap.
So do you want that trail official to be counting?
Excuse. Oh, we don't have the money. Oh, we can't find anyone.
But in football, it is easier to to get away with it because the back judge.
I've seen you officiate. I don't believe a word you're saying.
I'm telling you, that's what happened. Bishop DeBerg does not have play clocks at their football field.
Well, they need to get them. Quit acting like you don't have money. You have money on everything else
this year, so they don't have to worry about it.
Well, they suck then. Who cares?
There are still some other schools that don't have the play clock to where the back judge. Do you understand? It costs
you can still,
a lot of money.
Oh my God!
The back judge,
the money that these schools spend on, like Chris said, the money they spend on icebreakers and all this other crap. You can't tell me you cannot. And look, Zach has his arms crossed. Zach has his arms crossed, just like the pitcher.
I'm just thinking.
Seriously, think of some of the speakers that these schools have brought in and they bring in to talk to people, and you're telling me they get paid for shot clocks? Shut up! Shut up!
I would say, hey, if it's good enough for football and they've done it in the past, just have that trail official in basketball just count to himself to 35 for that shot clock.
No one can't count to 10 if you want him to count to 35.
Oh, so they can only count to 20. We got to take the shoes off.
Hauser can only count to 50. Wait, that'd be okay.
Only one can count to 35 for crying out loud. Come on.
that
you have to recount your hands.
In basketball, you got to at least see the clock. Yeah, that won't work. I'm just saying, I'm tired of all the excuses. Everyone went, this and that. Shut up. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out.
Hold on. This coming from the guy that has got a new football field, getting a new gym. Yeah.
Okay, don't act like Coach Jarvis is getting these things. Dunklin,
are you coaching on it? Are you coaching on it? Are you coaching on the new
I
field?
am going to coach on the field. I'll be up in the booth.
Gym?
I'll be up in the booth looking at it. That first game, home game, I'll be taking all kinds of pictures. Look at our field; it's better than yours. we gotta win some games on the dang thing, though. If we're gonna put that nice field, we better win some games. But
yeah, dang straight.
But the excuses. Believe me. At first I thought we talked about this not long ago on the show. We've talked about it for a couple years on the show.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, oh, the poor schools. And then I'm like, wait a minute. They find money for you. Think about I've worked at 7 different schools, and I've seen money spent on crap that I've seen.
You
money
mean like
spent on
the tennis stipend when there's no tennis team?
What I'm saying is, I've seen money.
I've seen
$7,500 money. I've seen $7,500 money spent on stuff that was never even used in a bunch of districts I've worked at. So don't act like money is not the issue. The issue, I do agree, the issue is finding someone competent enough to run it. I do believe that can be an issue. But the money part of it
will be the issue. That will
be the big issue.
Crap. I know of dokey punk districts who have football booster clubs that raise $30,000. So don't tell me the money's the issue. It's not money.
I've always said the issue is finding enough people to work it.
It is finding because
it's both of those.
Think about the people. I've yelled at clock people before, like at the end of the game.
That's because you're mean.
No, but dude, when you have the fouls screwed up, and then everyone think, oh, that's his 5th foul. No, it's his 3rd. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like
Jason, I get that. I'm not worried about when somebody screws up for the 4th time in a game and you're yelling at him. It's when some 16-year-old sophomore is running the shot clock because there's anybody else to do it. And the first time in the first quarter, he accidentally resets it because the button slips, or he thinks the official called to reset it, and then some jerk coach down the thing just starts screaming down the table at him because he reset the shot clock.
Or like Ron Rhodes says, the Cooter score tables they're doing this the whole. Wait, they scored.
Hey, that's like now. Listen, that's like in volleyball having kids do the bottom, whatever the line judges whatever.
Lines,
whatever.
It don't matter. Oh, come on, Zach. It don't matter, kids or adults. They screw that crap up every time.
I'd rather the adults screw it up than the kids.
They have adults standing there. They ain't even looking at the line.
I'd rather be an adult than a kid.
And you're like, out. Yep. That was 5 feet in, and you just called that out.
Hey,
they didn't even have a clue. They weren't even looking.
Then the next thing you know, what's trending is review in high school, which
he almost
is. Hold on.
He froze on that review.
On Mitch is kicking the tires on review for the championships. Yes.
Well, now really, schools cannot afford to do all the review equipment. They'll say shot clock or review equipment.
Oh, St. Pius X can afford it. If they're going to Mississippi to play football games, they can afford reviews and they can afford a shot clock. So I don't want to hear nothing about St. Pius X can't afford crap because they're traveling all over to play football. They can afford whatever they want.
Yeah, well, the problem is their tech guy's not supporting that.
Well, hey. I've saw a lot of turnover over there, so you may be out next. Man.
I know the admin password. If I leave, I change that password. Nobody knows it. It gets all kinds of.
They're gonna find
I'm unplugging one cable on the way out, and
they're gonna find the Frank Ray of technology over there, dude. You're gonna be
gosh, here we go. Oh man.
They'll find the Frank Ray of technology, baby.
It's all right. It'll be like Sherman's March on Atlanta my way out. I'm burning the whole infrastructure down.
He's scorching burn, baby. That whole place.
None of you get Ethernet. None of you.
None of you. Go back to dial-up. I'm plugging in an analog.
Hey, Zach, you ain't got to worry about that from him anymore. You'll get all the internet you want.
No, I've heard it. No.
I don't know. You're out in R7. You may not. Reception's not real good out there.
Yeah. You better put
Ron
your
Rhodes,
tinfoil
I'm
hat
surprised
on,
they
Zach.
even have internet where you're coaching at. I don't want to hear it. Ron Rhodes,
Does Ron Rhodes even know what internet?
Can he even turn a computer on? Can you imagine?
He must be if he's watching the show and coming.
He's on a phone. He's on a phone, and you know it.
I wonder how he takes attendance. I bet he still sends it paper down to the office.
Oh, I bet you he still does the manual grade book with the big green thing.
The red book, the hard red case.
Hold on. With
that slide grader thing.
He ain't grade crap. He doesn't do nothing to grade.
Hold on. What did Rhodes teach? Was he PE or shop or something like that?
I don't know. Everybody had trash bags on. I don't know.
Or ISS or something like that. He wasn't graded ever.
I will say last week, one of the best things of the reel that Chris made was freaking Coach Allen Davis, formerly of DeSoto, and him talking about reaching up in that cow, dude. That was the greatest ever.
PE.
Yes.
He wasn't grading anything anyway. You get an A.
That was one of our best episodes ever, was Allen Davis. So when he's done administrating, we need to get him back on this show, and we need to talk more farming slash basketball.
That would be priceless.
Yes. So.
But no, I'm not saying I'm not sitting here saying I'm for the shot clock either. I don't care either way. But I don't want to hear schools saying it's a money issue, because money is not the issue.
The other thing that I worry about with this is the Pandora's box that it opens for other sports. As eventually things start rolling downhill, like, does pitch clock become a thing in high school?
Pitch clock is coming.
But then
clock will
putting
be
the
in high school.
Oh, come on, Jim. How the hell are they going to keep pitch clock at a game?
Umpire. That's how they do it in the NCAA. The third base umpire or the field in Division II, and I know it's coming.
You just named 3 umpires, and there's not that many in high school. There's 2.
Right. Well, in the playoffs, there's 3.
Depends.
In the playoffs, there's 3.
But we're not talking about what Jim's wearing right now. We're talking about
the field umpire is the one that controls the clock, the pitch clock.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not a student. It's not somebody that runs the scoreboard. They have a bell pack that they start and stop the clock.
There are fields that don't even have scoreboards.
Right. I'm telling you. Well, then they'll go with the stopwatch.
Yeah. So why can't they do that? Why can't they do that in basketball? You can do it in
because an official cannot.
Because they're moving.
With the pitch clock,
guys, basketball is its own entity compared to football, volleyball, softball. Like, they're always moving.
Basketball is the most exciting sport to watch. Let's just put it out there. And there's constant action. There's constant action.
I think soccer is one of the best. I think soccer is one of the best.
I'm with Jim
shut
on
your
that.
pie hole. I wish Miller was on here to mute you. God dang.
So Kevin, what about the women? What about the U.S. women in the Olympics playing in the gold medal match? All right, here's Jarvis. There you go, Jason.
What clock do they have going on in soccer? There's going to be something new added there, too.
One that apparently just runs for an indiscriminate amount of time, and then they just add time at the end. We'll play 4 more minutes.
Anti-boredom. They need an anti-boredom clock on that game. That is the boringest.
You have to shoot at the goal.
I wish they would put a clock on goalkeepers for their 6-second that they never seem to abide by. But
I'll agree with that.
Really?
Hey, get rid of offsides and it would be more entertaining.
The whole 90 minutes that the ball's being tapped around ain't it boring as hell? Come on. It's so boring.
It's art. Okay,
it's
art. Oh my gosh!
It's the beautiful. Remember, it's the beautiful
game. Yes,
it's the beautiful game.
Gosh.
If the U.S. women can score, they'll win a gold medal. But if they've been struggling to score,
Rodman's daughter, get the goal, baby. That's all. Give
Dansby Swanson's wife.
Yeah,
Boy, he kicked our ass last week, didn't he? Gosh.
Yeah, Kevin, how's that 91 number coming up?
91.
How's that 91?
They're going to get a heater.
You don't have that much amount of time left.
Yeah, they're going to get on a heater.
We couldn't finish off the Dylan Carlson We couldn't finish off the Dylan Carlson Tampa Bay.
I feel like I cannot come off of that. I've already completely cemented my feet into the middle of this.
Sure,
I have to stay on it, and I'm staying on
dug
it.
your heels in.
No, that'd be like that'd be like Chris.
You've dug your heels in as much as Mo not bringing up Jordan Walker. That's what you've done.
Jordan Walker is still going to be gone.
Listen, I am not.
Next year.
Jim,
I am not going all
trading him. Jim, you're drinking stupid juice.
Listen,
Walker does not want to be in the organization.
Walker is our starting right fielder next year.
He does not want to be in the organization.
He may not want to be here, but we have player control. They're not shipping him out unless they get a ransom for him.
I'm telling you, Jordan Walker will not be on that opening day roster next year.
$100. I have $100 on it.
He'll be in Memphis again.
No, I have $100.
Oh, now he's Memphis. Now he's in Memphis.
Jim, I have $100 on it right now that he is in the Cardinals organization at the beginning of the season.
I don't have that kind of money.
Listen,
okay, let's go. You never pay anyway. Let's go to yours. I got a 10-piece wing at the Mac that there is no way Jordan Walker is not on our roster somewhere.
I don't think he's going to be here next year.
You're nuts.
I'll buy you wings. All right, I'll look at wings.
You're going to buy wings. There's no doubt in my mind. They're not trading him. They're saying he is the replacement for what's the guy that died? Oh, Tavares and all that. He is the replacement. Why do I always screw up when it's someone dead? Like you get ran over on the highway and I rip you. I mean, he wrecked a car and died. But hey, you got to admit the Cardinals could produce some outfielders. Maybe not great, but not subpar.
They're great when they're not part of the Cardinals organization.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. Yeah, we can name several. Garcia,
Tyler O'Neill.
Rosarena.
Don't tell me Bro Neal. Burleson's better than Bro Neal.
So
okay, guys. Now that we know,
the bigger deal is going to be
let him get going.
No, Burleson.
The bigger deal is going to be will Burleson be at first base next year?
He should be our starting first baseman next year. And if they
first base,
if they re-sign Goldie, I will lose it. I will start wearing Royals stuff.
Ooh, I want to see that.
Because the Royals are up and coming, baby. And the Cardinals, why are we even talking about re-signing Goldie?
Or Arenado. Why are we talking about re-signing either one of those two?
Arenado's under contract. There's nothing we can do with him.
Those two have been the biggest disappointments in Major League Baseball this year.
I agree, Rhodes. Ozuna's hit the crap out of the ball not being on our team.
Yeah, that's true.
He had a little bit of trouble getting some DWIs and stuff, too. And domestic violence, we're not big on that in Cardinal land, so.
No, not at all. I'm sure we will talk more about baseball next week.
But here's the lineup. This is what the lineup should be next year. Win, he's leading off. He's your starting shortstop. 2, is Burleson, and he is your first baseman. Then it gets real muddy. Because 3, 4, and 5, I don't know. I mean, Arenado is 5 or 6 to me.
Contreras should be your third hitter.
Contreras is up there.
Okay. So let's say Contreras.
You're probably going to say a Gorman.
I'm going to say
I want Gorman out of here. I want Gorman gone.
It should be Contreras should be your third hitter. Arenado will be cleanup. Walker will be your fifth hitter.
Yes, Walker should be up.
And then you've got
right field.
You've probably got
Newt left.
Newt.
You got Victor Scott left.
Donovan.
You got Donovan left.
And then whoever's going to be the DH.
They're gonna resign Tommy Pham, I think.
Oh, I think so.
Pham maybe your
and
DH
that's going to muddy it up even more for Walker to come up.
Your outfield should be Nootbaar in left, Scott in center, Walker in right.
No, your second baseman is going to should be that.
You got rid of Edman. You got rid of Edman. So you're telling me that you shouldn't have traded Edman away, and then you either got rid of you had to get rid of somebody. So
Zach, how many at bats does Edman have this year?
0. I understand that, but I'm just saying if you're wanting to get rid of Gorman now, then again
Donovan.
You would have
Donovan is your second baseman.
Then
Donovan plays second base.
Newt?
Donovan is your second base.
Scott, Newt, and Walker.
Newt, Scott, and Walker in the outfield.
And Walker.
With Pham as the fourth outfielder.
And Pham your fourth.
So between the three of them, they're going to bat about $120.
Scott's looked pretty good since he made a couple of changes.
Scott's he talked to Ryan Ludwig and he's got his leg kick going good.
Got the leg kick, baby.
Got the leg
Ryan
kick.
Ludd. But I'm just saying, what you either got to make a decision. You're going old or you're going young. We need to go young. Get rid of all these old farty darties. And Matt Carpenter. You know what? I would rather have Matt.
Like an old term to use. Farty.
Matt Carpenter will be an assistant. Will be the bench coach when Skip Schumacher gets the LA Dodgers job next year.
No, Ciani is not.
Ciani would be your fourth or fifth outfielder. Actually, you should trade Ciani while they should have traded him 2 weeks ago while his value was high.
Right.
Well, if I known that, if they were going to bring up Victor Scott anyway, yes, they should have. I agree. Before Ciani gets hurt, you trade him
for whatever you can get for him because it's the highest value.
In other words,
look at what we traded.
Good job, Mo. Awesome. You're the best GM in the world. Yes.
Well, and then if you look
91 wins.
And then if you look at our pitching for next year, you have the guy we just brought in,
Fetty.
Come Fetty. You have him. We're gonna have Michaelis because we have to.
He's terrible.
I know, but we have to have him because we're stupid.
Lance Lynn.
Lance Lynn's on a 1-year deal. He won't be back.
Lance Lynn will not be back.
Thank God.
Okay,
Kyle Gibson's on a 1-year deal.
Yeah,
Sonny Gray
will still be here. So those three. Why is McGreevy not up here for now? I don't understand.
Because he couldn't find the strike zone in 3 straight outings.
Who are you talking about? He's the one that threw one.
He just had it. He just
I thought never mind. Wrong dude. I was thinking the wrong guy. I apologize. I was thinking the wrong dude.
I love it when Jim's wrong.
And I admitted it this time. So
but Palante's not bad. Palante's serviceable as a 5.
As your 5.
Yeah.
The problem
you still have Matz. You still have Matz on contract.
Oh,
hell with him.
No, that's got to go.
Bye. And
they
said it right
where?
on 101.
DFA. Dallas Fort, whatever the
DFA. I don't give a crap. Pay him whatever you got.
Designated for assignment.
But
the Cardinals are paying half your salary. That's what they think of.
Yeah, exactly.
They called it on 101 today. Cardinal fans are tired of this crap.
Yeah.
You got Sonny Gray, which everyone was like, that's a good pickup. But you didn't get a 1 and a 2. You got just a 2. They needed to get, if they would have got Sonny Gray and would have traded for like Snell, then the fan base could be like, we couldn't be mad about that. We would have to be like, okay. But we're not doing like we used to. We used to go out and get the superstars, and we're not doing it. And that is why the fans are tired of hearing it. When they built this stadium, and I still remember it, they built this stadium and said the payroll was going to go up, and it hasn't. It's been the same. It's been the same. So Joe Schmoes, Mosaic, get the F out and get someone in here that's going to get rid of we have to, and it probably won't happen until DeWallet and that they're done owning the Cardinals.
There's two reasons why, and this was a great conversation on 101 today.
Yeah, it was awesome.
There's two reasons why people are not going to games. And when they came
out, it was a long one today. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, but there's two reasons. Number one, the organization will not bring in guys that will get this team into the playoffs.
Oh my God, I thought he was falling through my ceiling. My son upstairs. I don't know what the hell he did, but holy crap. Anyway, go ahead.
So, number one, they will not bring in guys to get this team into the playoffs, as Weston wants to get on the show. Number two,
evidently,
nobody wants to go to games downtown because, and I'm sorry, I got on.
They said it. They said it today. Safety.
Guess what?
People are scared.
You cannot go downtown without running the risk of your car getting broken into, kids firing pellet guns and pellet bullets at people, or just basically getting the crap beat out of you. That's why we won't go downtown. I refuse to go to a game unless I'm Ubering. That's it. I leave my car here at home. And
I'm not gonna lie, Jim. I used to love to go to Washington Street and stuff, but now no,
not even close.
But
not even close.
This regime that is owning the Cardinals, they are in it. I don't care what anyone says. You can tell me, yeah, I know Mosaic. We won some championships, blah, blah, blah. But they are all about just getting 3 million fans and making their money.
Well, right. There's a little bit, I kind of disagree a little bit with what you said about the safety thing being as big a deal as what it is. It is a big deal, but people still pack the arena when the Blues are in town. And people still pack the soccer stadium when City's there. But now there's a difference between doing it 81 days versus 36 games or 20 games. Doing that for a season, I just don't think that's as big a deal. The bigger deal is the product on the field has not been very good.
It's not been good.
And people kind of value their money at this point. They're not going to spend money on something that's not enjoyable to watch.
And Kevin, they haven't lived up to their promises.
They haven't. Right. They absolutely haven't.
They have not lived up to the promises that they made out loud to their fans.
Okay. Let's go through this very quickly because I know Jim wants to wrap this up.
I know.
Let's go through.
We're going on 2 hours. What the heck are you all talking about?
We're having fun, Jim. Shut up.
Exactly. Let's go through the decades. Okay, we can talk about the 80s, 70s. When we remember watching and growing up watching Cardinal games. So you have had Hall of Famers, you have had superstars. Year after year after year, whether they were good, whether they were bad, you have had dudes that people wanted to go watch. There is nobody on this team that you want to go watch, plain and simple. So why do you want to go spend your money? Why do you want to go? We grew up watching McGuire and Ozzie and on and Pujols and even further back. We don't have that. So we're looking at it like there's no Hall of Famer. There's nobody to go watch. There's no MV3. There's none of that. So why waste our time? We'll just try. If Bally's has it, we can get Bally's. We'll watch it on TV. If not, oh well.
Plus, it's a lot safer in your living room.
Well,
beer's a lot cheaper.
I'm with you, Kevin. I don't think the safety is as big a deal as the product on the field.
The safety is turning into be a very big issue.
But the product on the field is a much bigger issue for this.
Absolutely.
And Zach's right. We just, you see things. Hey, there's just a lot of hopeful types of things that they're putting out there. Hey, Mason Wynn is that next guy. Hey, Jordan Walker is that next guy. And all this stuff. And, it's ever saying, crap in one hand and wish in another. See which one fills up first.
Here's a perfect example. I mean,
I like that one.
We don't even that was good, Kevin. We don't even have a Matt Holiday on this team. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't.
We did. He quit.
Now if we
for 30 minutes.
Valid point.
30 minutes.
If we would have signed, he's in New York. You know who I'm talking about. If we would have gotten him, traded for him. He's in New York. He's playing in the outfield.
Soto?
Huh?
Soto?
Yeah.
If we Stanton a couple of years ago.
Either one, well, Stanton didn't want to come here.
No.
Obviously. But we didn't sweep him off his feet either.
The deal for Soto was on the table and Mozeliak blocked it.
Well, he said, my cold dead hand. And Dylan's playing left field in Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay sucks.
You got Lance Armstrong's second cousin, third removed, or whatever. That's who you got for Dylan Carlson.
Has he even pitched yet?
I don't know.
He gave up runs today.
Yeah,
Armstrong.
Maybe we could have let Carlson pitch.
Guess who got the save for Tampa Bay tonight? Fairbanks. Where'd Fairbanks go to school? Webster Gross.
Yep.
You could have got him as your eighth inning dude cheap. But nope. We're going to stand pat. What has our bullpen done in the last couple weeks?
I will say I've been aggravated with Helsley. He does not make it fun. It is when he comes in, you're just like, oh,
painful.
Shit. Is this going to
painful.
happen? Or is it, how many guys are going to get on base?
Hey, let's throw 100-mile fastball middle. Let's go middle fastball again. Middle fastball again.
I think
let's go to the curveball middle.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry. I think part of the problem is they keep going away from the fastball. They keep wanting to throw breaking ball, and he's laying them up there, and people are just
the breaking ball's been middle every time.
And Tampa Bay had
the
some
difference in speed.
Tampa Bay had something on him in that first game. They knew what was coming. He was tipping. Somehow he was tipping his pitches.
No doubt.
I'm just fed up. I've been a Cardinals fan. I mean, we all have. And it's just hard to listen to what you – I mean, 101 was perfect today. They had a caller that left a message, and he acted like he was Mozeliak. And he did a perfect – it was perfect what he said. He just you got this president, sorry, he's not the GM, but he is the GM and president at the same time. It's just we're tired of it. Fans are tired of listening to him.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's one way right now, whether they make the playoffs or not, to put butts in the seats for the rest of the year, and they'll never do it. No team in baseball will do it, and that's sign Trevor Bauer.
True.
It will put butts in the seats.
Oh,
especially on the nights he pitches.
Yeah.
Nobody will do it.
But nobody will do it.
Nope. Can't stand listening to Jim Edmonds. The best guy is BT, in my opinion. Brad
BT is really good.
He is good. Yep. He's good on 101, and he's good in the box.
I agree.
Kerry, I could neither here or there with him. He's whatever. But
he's all right.
But I like Brad. Now, Jim Edmonds goes off on tangents too much.
Oh, without a doubt. So,
realistically speaking, Jim Edmonds should be in a dugout.
I'll agree with that too.
So,
but he won't.
Yep.
So, all right. Well,
hey, Jim, we know you got to go to bed. Or to the
MAG? I'm watching the Olympics. I'm going to get ready to watch the third round. I'm going to get ready to watch the third round of the women's golf on the Olympics on the Golf Channel in an hour.
That sounds horrible.
It's great.
You can watch soccer all day tomorrow, Jason. You got the women's match. You got St. Louis City tomorrow night.
I cannot wait. Tomorrow is going to be glorious.
Jason, that will solve your problem about going to sleep. Just put on soccer and you'll be out like a light.
Do they play tonight? I wish. I mean,
dude. All right, boys.
I would be out like a light.
Another great show. We'll be back at it next week. Miller should be back with us. Who knows? Kevin and
let's
and
be
Jason,
real. You might not be here next week.
I'll be here because I don't have.
You missed the 200th episode. You missed the 200th episode because you had a little bit of jet lag.
From Oklahoma
Thanks
City.
for tuning in,
From
everybody.
Oklahoma City.
I should have just drove. I would have made it home sooner. Let's just say that.
You still wouldn't have made the show.
I said that last week.
Yes, you did say that. Zach
did.
did say that. You still wouldn't have made the show.
Anyway, yes, I would have. We will see everybody next week. Miller will be back with us. Have fun with the first days of practice next week. Kevin and Jason, have fun.
I'm going to be on a beautiful turf field. It's going to be awesome.
And Kevin's got a very nice. Kevin's got a very nice softball field that he's been putting a lot of work in.
Yes, he has. I'm sorry, but you know why? Like all these people have been posting, like Segment's getting a new field, Fox, DeSoto got a facelift, blah blah blah. But ours still looks the best. You know why?
Why?
Because it doesn't have any soccer lines on it.
Oh,
because those other fields got them dumb lines on there, and them lines look terrible.
Just wait, I'll put them on.
Yeah,
go Cats!
We'll figure something out.
Go Cats! Black Cats!
We'll see.
Just cut it off, Jim.
Week. Thanks so much. We'll see everybody next week. Bye, boys.
This episode of the Coach's Box Call It Like We See It podcast is brought to you by Off the Rails Media. Life's more fun when you're off the rails.